On the heel of Kyrie being suspended indefinitely, a minimum of 5 games for the Brooklyn Nets, after the Nets just threw the Wizards' ass in pieces, Nike came down and said they're going to suspend their contract with Kyrie. They would not release the Kyrie H. And the Kyrie's alive. I ain't going to lie to you. My first reaction is they doing that boy like Kanye. That's what my mind went to after Kanye lost his Adidas deal. But it also went to Nike standing up for Jew people, but they got Muslims right now in concentration camps in Asia. But somehow, the hypocritical, I got a video 2 years ago speaking about the Jews, not the Jews, the Chinese people in Nike and the NBA, and how they stand up for anti-Semitism, but don't give a damn what happened to the Muslims over there in the concentration camps in China. There's a real genocide going on in China right as we speak. But Nike has all their sweatshops made in China that they don't say send up for China. I mean, come on, bro. It's the biggest hypocritical shit ever. And then when I come to America, I go back to Kyrie. I think a lot of people dropping the ball on this Kyrie situation. Kyrie, as y'all don't know, he came out and apologized, caved in, because he know that his career might be over with after this. His career might be over with in the NBA. So he went home. Somebody got upset with him because this ain't not just a 5-game suspension and it's without pay. It can be indefinite. It can be indefinite. They say he was unfit to be a Brooklyn Net at this time. So who knows if they're gonna cut Kyrie, and if he after this year, who's gonna pick up Kyrie with all the mess that's going on with Kyrie? But a lot of people gotta understand what anti-Semitic views mean. Let's understand. People's going around and saying that you think people's watching that video. You think people watching that video after Kyrie tweeted out? They say now it's the number one video in certain aspects on Amazon Prime because of the Kyrie endorsement. But anti-Semitic views, this what gets me with people. This to get me when people listen. Anti-Semitic views started the Holocaust. It started with the Romans and the Christians. Like, listen, this should go way back. Jews was prosecuted. They was enslaved. They could not work jobs. They didn't give them land. And people talking about central banking and all the banking. And they created this form of banking and money because they had no land. They was given no land. They given no job. They couldn't be certain occupations over there in that country. They was enslaved by Christians, by the Romans, by Muslims. They was enslaved by all these people. And then, because for our history, everybody used the Jews for the problems of the world. The same thing would happen in Hitler with the Holocaust. He blamed the Jews for World War II and the fact that the financial economic loss that they did. So that's why when you say anything anti-Semitic or anything that the Jews are imposters they're not the real Jews, European Jews are not the real Jews, and they the reason why black people has been stripped. That's the same shit they was talking about BC years. So when they say he hurt the Jewish community with these comments, because that shit can lead to another Holocaust. It can lead to another 6 million Jews extinct. It can lead to Jews only 2% of an American, right? That's what happened with that's why it's war and states in Israel with the Palestinians. Because of that same rhetoric. That rhetoric is terror is bad. A lot of y'all don't get that at all. Like, a lot of y'all don't understand that. That's the very main reason, bro. You cannot share you cannot share a video that has some truth and some stuff is unfortunate in it. Bro, it looked like you endorsing that the Holocaust would never happen. It looked like you saying that the real Jews are not European. They are not, and it's funny because it's Egyptian African Jews that's actually Israel right now as we speak. So Kyrie should have been educated. He was misinformed. He's too woke. And he's just saying stuff. He's just ignorant of certain things that he should have had people, before he tweeted out, he should have had people go over stuff with people. He should have went over that stuff with his people, with his friend, with his group, how deep he is, to understand. You cannot say that shit. You saying that and liking a video that's saying that the Jews are not the real Jew people, and they the reason why the black people are in a struggle they in today, that's the same shit. That's the same logic Hitler used, bro. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people trying to defend Kyrie first. You cannot defend Kyrie. When he wrong, he wrong. I'm with Kyrie about the vaccine shit. No, don't take it. Stand up. All other stuff he did, Kyrie, he did a lot of great stuff for his people, for indigenous people, and all his people. He do a lot of great work. But just because he did a lot of great work does not mean he's wrong in this situation. He is dead wrong in this situation. Point blank, period. You guys can go back and forth like they doing too much with Kyrie, they doing too much. I think Nike's doing too much because they some hypocrites. But all the NBA, no. Like the commission, he's Jew himself. I would kick his ass out my league if it was me. But to be on Kyrie's side with this, you're just dead wrong. I cannot be an anti-Semite because I'm black. That's like saying I can't be an anti. I mean, you say because just because I'm black, I can't be anti-black. You can be anti-black by being anti-black. What is wrong with you? People say he shared the link. He didn't do the documentary. That's like a white supremacist. That's like a white supremacist coming out and saying share a link that black people and share a link about black people being enslaved and say bad stuff about black people and say, well, I didn't make the documentary about black people. It's already up there. I just chatted on my link. There was some good stuff in the documentary that black people should have been slaves, and it was stuff about black Christianity. White people represent Christianity back during the slavery day, but black people should have been slaves back in that day. Like, come on, white people they'd be counseled right away. That's like saying, and all the stuff in that documentary was white supremacy talking points. What the white and the European Jews Hitler said about the Jews. That's why it's bad for Kyrie to post it. I want people to understand that message. Just understand that. If you don't understand nothing else.